A long time since we have talked to our next guest. He is joining us on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline, rumored as a 2017 host of the show, according to our IMDb page, Dennis Pitta. Dennis, welcome back to the show, man.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, what was your reaction?
It is a pleasure.
Yeah. What was your reaction to seeing your name on the IMDb page?
Oh, I mean, it was expected. There was no shock or awe on my end.
How did that even happen? That's the real question. Like, who's, and it's not just that you're a rumored future co-host. It says stars: Jerem Jordan, Spencer Linton, Dennis Pitta.
I'm one of the stars of the show. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that.
John Beck told us in San Diego he feels like he is challenging you for this so-called star spot and co-host position that you're going after. What do you think about John Beck trying to supplant you, Dennis, in that arena?
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time someone was trying to take my job. So, listen,
man,
John,
I know what that feels like.
Yeah, you do. John, John texted me when he was doing the show, and I actually listened to the show that John was on, and he just doesn't bring enough personality. I don't really see a big threat there.
Dennis Pitta with us on BYU Sports Nation, the rumored 2017 host. Now, Dennis, you got to come in Studio B to officially qualify as a host. So when's that happening next?
I will be there at the end of next month. I think I'm going to come out to Utah, try and catch a couple of basketball games, and take my place as host.
Beads of sweat are starting to form on Jerem's forehead.
Said no one ever.
Me and Ben are trying to work out the details right now, but I think we might be able to get a contract in place by February.
Yeah, I think the money's a little different than what you get with the Ravens. I probably, right? Speaking of,
we're trying to make it as competitive as possible.
There you go.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right.
You haven't really played a lot the last 2 years. Then you played this season and you set single game and season records with the Ravens. What did it take to come back and play the way you played?
Well, I mean, it was a good year for me personally. It was just nice to play in all 16 games. That hasn't happened in a long time for me. So, I feel like throughout my career I've always been a durable player. I don't think I missed a game at BYU in my first few years in the league. It's just, this darn hip injury the last couple of years has really, kind of been my issue. But the hip feels great now. It didn't give me any trouble all this past season, and I was able to play in every game. So, as far as team goals, we didn't quite accomplish what we wanted to, and just missed the postseason. But it was great being out there and being able to contribute a little bit.
Did you feel, fully healthy, or did you have to battle through that all year?
No, I mean, I felt fully healthy. I really could have come back at the end of last year. I started on the PUP list and, felt good enough to come back, but I just wasn't quite ready. So I gave myself some extra time, and I really think that paid off because I felt great all this year. And like I said, I mean, my hip didn't give me any trouble, which, was really promising and encouraging. So hopefully we got a few more left in us, and then I'll, be able to come on the show full time. But
yeah, take care of business on the field. Jerem's in no rush for you to come in here.
Why is it me and not you? Like what?
Hey, because, man, that's the precedent that's been established. Dennis Pitta with us on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline, star tight end for the Baltimore Ravens. Dennis, I know you've been busy and battling through those injuries and playing a 16-game season, but how much attention were you able to pay to what BYU did this year, going 9-4 under Kalani Sitake?
Yeah, I mean, I tried to watch as many games as I could. It's not always easy on the East Coast, especially when games start at 8 o'clock. On the West Coast and start at 10 my time. So it was tough sometimes, but, I watched a lot of them, and I followed the team as closely as I could. And, I was impressed with the way they played all year. I think Kalani and his staff did a great job. It's not easy coming in and, trying to implement a new system and have success right away. And they were able to do that. A lot of tough, close losses, which, as a fan were tough to watch, but overall it was a fun season for everybody. So, I think, with Tanner at the helm next year, it's going to be a good season. So I'm excited.
What do you think of what Kalani Sitake is doing to kind of shape BYU football maybe in a different way now?
Yeah, I think he's doing a great job. I mean, to have immediate success like that when you're really switching a full defensive system and offensive system and really don't have, necessarily the players that you want for that system, it's difficult. And so, I think they did a great job, and it'll just continue to get better as they're able to recruit the kind of more the style of players that they want, and really be able to take off with those systems in place.
Dennis Pitta with us, NCAA consensus All-American tight end at BYU and a new team record holder with 83 catches for the Baltimore Ravens this season. Dennis, we have to ask this question. What do you think about the new Los Angeles Chargers logo?
I like it. Do you guys not like it?
What?
You like it?
Well, it's the Tampa Bay Lightning and LA Dodgers logo. Come on, man.
Well, I mean, there's only so many things you can do with an L and an A. I think they did a great job.
Okay. So you are.
I don't even know what the old Chargers logo was. Was it just a lightning bolt? What was it?
Just a lightning bolt, a yellow lightning bolt. That's it. They didn't have really a San Diego throwback.
Yeah.
It was just a bolt.
Just ask Eric Weddle, man. He'll tell you. Good teammate. What's it like dealing with Weddle all year?
Oh, it's tolerable. But I got to unfortunately, we lost to Utah again this year, so he had to rub it in my face for that. But
yeah.
I did get him to take the giant Ute sticker off his truck, which was a win in my book.
How'd you do that?
How did you pull that off?
Yeah, I mean, I just kept giving him a hard time. One day he showed up, wasn't on there.
Nicely played.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
right.
That was a win.
Rise and shout to Dennis for getting Eric Weddle to take the huge Utah sticker off of his truck. As we push forward now and look at the state of BYU football, you play obviously in a pro-style offense because you play at the highest level. Do you see similarities in BYU's offense compared to what you run in Baltimore with Joe Flacco?
Yeah, I mean, BYU does a lot of those same things. A lot of the offensive sets, the formations are similar. From a play action standpoint, it's a lot of the same, and kind of those keepers and bootlegs and rollouts and stuff where you see those tight ends getting some of those balls. It's very similar. So, Ty Detmer was in this style of offenses his whole career in the NFL. So he understands it very well, and I think it's a system that's going to be good for BYU, and one that once they kind of get the type of players and some of the tight ends and receivers that they want in place, it's really going to take off. So it was fun to watch, and I'm excited what they can do with a guy like Tanner at the helm. And when he gets more comfortable kind of under center and doing some of those things and the checks and audibles that he has to make at the line, he's going to really excel.
We're going to talk about 10 players that were just added to the roster coming up in the next segment, and our impact players among those coming up. But I was thinking about Hunter Renfrow of Clemson, the receiver who caught the national championship winning pass, who wasn't really desired out of high school. You came to BYU kind of as a walk-on or preferred walk-on and played your way into that. What words of encouragement do you have for those kind of guys at this point, maybe in high school or coming back from missions, that do want to play D1 and excel like you did?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest, it's not an easy road to take. But you do have to make the most of your opportunities when they come, and the opportunities are typically limited. But I came to BYU, and like you said, I was a sorry guys, I was a preferred walk-on.
It's an emotional thing, Dennis. I know.
Yeah, no, I get all choked up when I start talking about it. No, so I got to BYU, and nobody really knew my name. I remember one of the first spring practices I participated in, Coach Croton, who was the head coach at the time, called me over and, was talking to me and called me Dustin. He didn't even know my name was Dennis. So, I didn't take that as a great sign initially. But, it's a tough road, but you just have to believe in yourself. I always felt like I could be a good player and that I was a good player. And I worked hard and tried to set myself up as best I could so that when those opportunities came, I could show something. And fortunately, it worked out for me. But it is a tough road. And, if you are a good player, you just got to continue to have confidence in that and work hard and make sure you're ready for the opportunity.
Dustin, we just need to know one more thing. Who's going to win the Super Bowl this year?
Oh, man. I think out of the AFC, it's going to be New England.
Okay.
I don't think. I mean, we played them up there, and they're a good team.
That was a good game.
Which is great for Kyle Van Noy.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
It was funny when we played them. Kyle had just been traded a few weeks earlier, and so I saw him all game long. He was covering me at times, and I had to block him a little bit, and so he wasn't. I tried to talk to him a lot on the field, and he didn't really want to talk on the field. We talked a lot.
Out of breath.
He was way too focused during the moment.
He's a Patriot, man. The Patriot way.
Yeah. No, but that was a fun game. But they're a good team, and obviously so well coached that it's going to be tough for anybody to go into Foxborough and beat those guys. So I think they'll be one of the participants. When you look at the NFC, it's a little tougher. Personally, I think Green Bay is playing the best football out of anybody.
Okay.
And I would not be surprised if they're in it. Now, if it's a Green Bay, New England showdown, I'm still taking New England. So that's my pick to win it, which isn't a very flashy pick, but I've played those guys. I know they're pretty good.
Dennis, you've got a future being an analyst if you want it. You know this. You just displayed those skills.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
No, I know that. Don't worry. There's no lack of confidence on my end.
Yeah. Well, Dustin, we appreciate the time.
Jerem's trying to get me off air as quickly as he can.
Hey, someone just tweeted in that said, Dennis Pitta, when the time comes, I'm going to miss the guy who buttons the top button of his shirts, in reference to Jerem.
No, Dennis does it too.
Well,
yeah,
that's true. So
it'll be a seamless transition.
Dennis, always a pleasure, man. We look forward to seeing you in Studio B soon. Congratulations on a fantastic year. We're super stoked for you, man.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Keep
up the good work. You guys are doing great.
All right, brother.
Keep your
Sounds
head
good.
Up, Jerem.
I always do, because I'm top buttoned.
He's the preferred walk-on co-host. All right, Dennis. Thanks, man.
Okay, guys. See ya.
Dennis Pitta on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, your values, your timeline, your financial future.
That's